All right, it's Matt. So, how to eat if you want to get lean, if you're trying to trim down and lose fat. There are right ways and wrong ways to go about, losing weight, shredding fat off, getting rid of fat, however you want to phrase it. And wanted to make this video to kind of highlight the right way, quote unquote, to go about it, just so that you will lose as much fat as possible while also preserving as much muscle as possible. So 3 steps to this, 3 things that I'll be outlining, and I'll talk about why each one is important and kind of how to ultimately go about this. So step 1 is going to be the most important. That is going to be eating in a calorie deficit. For those who don't know what a calorie deficit is, it is simply just eating less calories than your body requires to basically function. So numerically speaking, what that would look like is, say your maintenance calories, your equal amount of calories, break even is 2,000 calories. If you were to eat 1,800 calories on a consistent basis, that would be an example of eating in a calorie deficit. You'd be in a 200 calorie deficit. So 2,000 is your maintenance. 1,800 would be a 200 calorie deficit. So you need to be eating less than your body requires. What that essentially is going to do is, when you do that consistently enough, your body needs to get those extra calories from somewhere. So where it will get those calories from, if it's not going to be getting it from nutrients, it will take it from the fat stores in your body. So step 1 is going to be eating a calorie deficit. Step 2 is going to be timing your carbs. So when you're eating your carbs for the day. Why eating carbs is relevant and why it matters to when you're trying to be in a deficit or lose weight, as well, also while actually looking leaner. There is, real reason behind that. Oftentimes you'll hear people say, oh, well, I'm on the keto diet, I'm not eating carbs and it's been working great. Oftentimes why the keto diet actually works for people is because usually beforehand they've been eating a pretty carb dominant diet. And when you eat a lot of carbs, for every gram of carb that you eat, you retain roughly 3 to 4 grams of water. So when you have a lot of carbs, you're retaining a lot of water. And when you retain a lot of water, you're not going to appear as lean. You're going to look puffier, so on and so forth. So when you stop eating carbs or you cut down on carbs a lot, you're going to be holding less water and you're going to appear leaner because you're basically just going to have less water in your body. But in terms of timing the actual carbs themselves, when I'm trying to get leaner, or what I would recommend people do when they are trying to get leaner, is eating carbs in only 2 parts of the day. That's going to be pre-workout and immediate post. The reason you're going to want to eat carbs before your workout is because you want to fuel the body for the workout so you can have a good workout. You need glycogen in your muscles, glucose in your muscles to have a good workout. That's what those pre-workout carbs are going to provide, so that you can actually have energy, so you can actually get a pump, so on and so forth. And then immediately post-workout, meaning that the next immediate meal that you eat after you work out, that's the second time that you're going to be eating carbs. What the post carbs are going to do for your body is it's going to restore the lost or used glycogen, glucose in your muscles that you've used in your workouts, as well as help with, protein synthesis, repair. Combining a protein and a carb together post-workout is going to help for recovery. So eating carbs 2 times a day, your pre-workout meal and your post-workout meal, those are the 2 times that I would recommend, are the only times in the day that you're eating carbs. Step number 3 is you're going to want to be eating a gram of protein per pound that you weigh. Now, when you are eating in a deficit, that is not a time where you're really going to be building muscle. An ideal or optimal state of building muscle is to be eating in a surplus. You are doing the exact opposite. You're in a deficit. So your goal for muscle mass, as it relates to what you currently have, or what you have while you're cutting down, is you're just going to be wanting to maintain that muscle, not building, not getting stronger, but just maintaining the muscle that you do have. Eating a gram of protein per pound that you weigh is going to ensure that you are, feeding the muscle with the protein that it needs, so that it can be preserved, so it doesn't, waste away. Another part of that is, making sure that your calorie deficit, the first thing that I was talking about there, isn't massive, or that it's, it's a moderate and gradual calorie deficit. So you start out with 200 calories, then another 200, and so on and so forth. But those are essentially the three things that I would recommend you do in terms of eating, to make sure that when you are leaning out, when you are trying to slim down, lose weight, whatever the case may be, that you're doing so in an optimal way, or as optimal as a way as possible. So again, steps 1, 2, and 3, or three main components to this: eating a calorie deficit, time your carbohydrates, and eat a gram of protein per pound that you weigh. You do those three things, you're going to set yourself up, in losing fat in a pretty solid way, so to speak. So that is what I had for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.